There we go. I knew we were live, but I wanted to not say anything like a mute the YouTube browser so I could keep it open. I got a reason for that. I didn't want it to start echoing and everybody tell me to turn off my YouTube browser. How is everybody? Doing something different today. Dallas is traveling. He is in, I should be in Iowa right now. They have an event up there. Oh, and I caught him before he could jump out. Unfinished project. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. All right, who all's in here? NSB Custom Cars, how's it going? John Mounts, Dust Devil, Knuckle Duster, ha 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 ha. How about posting some video of that, Brian? Ha 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 ha. Ron English and Don English, the English Brothers of Debauchery, Mongrels, John Cope. I got the link pinned. Any of y'all want to jump in here? Go ahead. Tom Cook's here. Colleen. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. Not just Mopars, not just Mustangs, but Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. R is in here. Mongrels is in the house.
Hey, how's it going, John?
Torque Racing's going all right. Miss Dude Mopar, Levi, Dean Brown, Andrew Nelson, LP94. My Aunt Nancy's here. Patrick, Buff. Oh, man, Smacky, all kind of people in the house. Well, you know what? Today's different. It's just now rolling in. Dallas is in Iowa, and I've had a zillion things to do this week. My Aunt Nancy says hello from afar. Plot twist, she's about 15 feet that way. So hopefully we can, if you guys want to see my Aunt Nancy come out here and be on the stream, why don't you post in there and see if you can twist her arm into coming out here. But no, I'm just doing something different. I'm sitting on the deck of her house in Beulah, Georgia. And I figured I would invite any of you guys who want to come in and hang out. Cool people like Street Fox and JB and any of you guys, come chill. We'll do it.
Yeah, come on, Street Fox.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it. We got 35 days to go, and today, coincidentally, is the original date for the No Name Nationals. We changed the date and announced it. We announced the date changed January 16th. And I told you guys you had 35 more days now. And here they are. Today begins those extra 35 days you got. So if that's helping you, I'm glad. We are with TaylorMade birthday. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Laura Humphreys. If TaylorMade Muscle and you guys, you check your email, I've got something hanging out there, something I'm working on. You guys are welcome to send clips for that. Mongrels, what do you know, man?
Oh, I don't know too much, John. I put videos up and I hope that they do well.
I liked your 500th subscriber celebration video. That was cool.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. I haven't driven that car in a long time, and the fuel might not have been that good in it, so it was popping and a little bit, but it was pretty good. It was good fun.
I've had good luck with old gasoline back before it had the ethanol, but now it seems like it goes downhill pretty quick.
It sure does, yeah, no doubt. It's too much moisture. It just absorbs the moisture and corrodes everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to need another extension, please. 35 days, and we gave you the 35 in January. That's all we could do. We actually promoted this too long. We had to kind of to compromise because we knew some people were going to need 9 months to get ready for this event, but it was really too long. Some people couldn't hold it together that long. But 180 days is plenty. But the first year we had to do longer, and it was just the nature of it. That way we could lock up our track dates. That way we could help the No Name 500 guys get started and all that stuff. So,
yeah, there must be a few more that are getting close too, John.
There are, and I believe Dude Mopar is in the lead. I haven't tallied it yet. I haven't tallied it today, but I believe Mrs. Duke Mopar would know. But yeah, Duke Mopar was at 460. I'm sure he's got a few more cents. First responder, then outfits. Stephen Holtz is leading the 300 pack. So we've got 3 channels in the 400s and everybody else 300 and below. So if you're waiting to know when to turn it up, that time is now.
Yeah, no kidding. And you know what? There's still chance for the channels that don't have the 500 yet, because you got 35 days. A lot can happen in 35 days. Seen it.
Clint Brook, either you are in Australia or you have been in a coma or something. Because it's evening here, but good morning. I would guess you're in Australia, New Zealand. Do Mopar 6 days a week, sweat 8 days a week. Yep. Hardworking man with a fast ride. In the UK. Okay.
Just a reminder. Just a reminder, everyone in the chats, make sure you hit that thumbs up and like and all that good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is just a social live, less formal. I haven't done one of these in a long time on a Friday. And I thought, you know what, with Dallas being out of town and we got a bunch of updates for you next weekend when he's back, I thought, well, why not? Do something a little different. 468 for Dude Mopar. If you've not yet subscribed to Dude Mopar, he needs 32 subscribers to punch his ticket to the No Name Nationals.
I'm going to check to see if I'm subscribed to him. Dude Mopar. Probably am. I subscribe to most of these people. Most of the people.
Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans posted a teaser yesterday. I believe they want to try to do a live from the junkyard. I'm going to tell you, if you're asking people when the best time is, you're going to have 100 people give you 100 different answers, and 10 of them will actually be there. Pick a time and go with it. That's my advice. Torque Racing.
Well, there you go. Dude Mopar, you got one more sub.
Yep, there you go. Unfinished Project, Dart Sport. Oh, by the way, this was cool. I caught him. He likes to sneak in at the bottom and hope that I can't catch him. I caught him. He was broadcast for about 2 seconds, and then he jumped out. Hopefully he'll come back.
So what are you up to, John?
Well, I brought my mom down here. We're visiting her sister. So I'm at my Aunt Nancy's. She's probably watching. She was in the chat earlier. And today we have gone around, done some fun stuff. They had a meeting or two and eating homemade chocolate pie and horrifying the HOA with my van. All that good stuff.
Right on. Now, who owned that van originally?
Her. That was my Aunt Nancy's van.
That's what I thought.
That's her van. Yeah,
you got her van down visiting her.
It was a really good looking van in the day, and then it was made in 1985 when they had that terrible recall paint. GM had it and Chrysler had it. I don't know if Ford did or not, but those. Yes, she's watching while making pies. There you go.
Nice.
That they had that terrible recall paint in the 80s. You know, where it would just flake off in pieces.
Yeah. That's
they
when
tried to go to something cheaper. Or something
they went to the water-based paints back then.
Ford did it was?
Too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, it just flakes off in pieces, which looks even worse when you have a wild paint scheme. And then some guy, the guy that I got it from, he decided, because of his fantastic sense of taste, to paint the front end rattle cam blue, 2 different colors of rattle cam blue, put 9 eagle decals on the hood, and break the Dodge emblem while trying to paint it gold. And it just looks wonderful. And, you know, so we got to undo all of that. But it's going to be a good looking van again before too long.
Well, we call that character, John. That's just character, right?
Yeah, it's a fun little part of the van's story, but I'm ready for it to go. We're going to make it look nice again.
You need to put a mural on the side of it. I hear that's coming back.
You know, not really my style, but yeah, I'm down with them. I think I'm going to do something that looks very 70s. It'll look really nice.
Nice.
Heavy metal flake blue like the original. And I'll use the older round headlight grill, and
Nice.
then restore the wheels back to like they look new, white letter general with the, natural finish. It'll look really nice again. Just it'll take a little work.
That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, I got my
For,
1975 motorhome that I want to do up, but I don't think I'll ever get to it.
yeah, we've only got so much time, right?
Yeah.
I was telling my cousin never watches this, so I can say this, but I was telling him, I'm like, okay, we're the same age, right? He just turned 45. I'll be 45 in a few months. I say, okay, if you picked 10 projects a year, you have more projects than if you live to be 100.
Yeah.
So there is no question. You must prioritize. You cannot possibly do everything. The question is, what do you want to do?
Well, and I came to that realization. I was just having this conversation with someone is I have a lot of vehicles. I have to start prioritizing which ones I can get to. I can work on quite
That's
a
right.
few throughout a year, but time and money are two big factors in that. And I'm going to have to start saying, okay, I'm going to have to look at doing that one, but maybe not that one.
That's true. That's very true. Torque Racing asks, are the 28 by 10.5 people locked in? That race about half full. So if your spot is already in there, so you're one of those. We've got several more than the slide in, I'm sure. But yeah, we're about half full on that. So don't forget the 28 10.5 tire class. It's 28 by 10.5 tire or smaller, no W's. The equivalent of that in the P metric is 275 60 15. So 275 60 15 or smaller also works. And other than that, it's just steel roof and quarters, and anything else goes.
Now, I would have loved to bring a car down, but it's just I already made the one trip this year down
Yeah.
south, and so I'm flying this time. So
Yeah. It's a big commitment. What do you have to do these days to get across the border?
it wasn't too bad when you're driving. It's actually easier when you're driving than when you're flying. I don't know how the flying is. I haven't flown in 3-4 years, right? So,
Okay.
but I didn't have to do much cross border. Just present the passport. That was pretty much it. And I don't even remember if they asked us if we had the COVID shot or not.
Okay. All right.
Because coming back, we have to do, well, it's a Canadian thing. We get this Arrive can that we have to do and go online and fill out, and might have to isolate and all this other stuff. But
Oh gosh.
it's a pain in the butt coming back. But even that wasn't too bad. Of course, when we drove through, it was the middle of night during a blizzard. Like we pull up in the '67 Mustang, and it's covered in ice and snow, and we weren't expecting that. So he asked us a few questions. Buy anything down there? Get new tires? It's like, well, that's an odd one, but no, we didn't. I think we did though, actually.
I like it's like some of these police officers, just to see if you're paying attention, like they'll pull people over and they'll say, any guns, bombs, knives, bazookas, nuclear weapons in the car, and they'll ask it real straight, right?
Yeah.
And they'll say that the people who you don't have to worry about are the ones that are like, what? And it kind of catches them off guard. He said, but the criminals are, when they hear that, they try to answer it real seriously, like he's being real serious.
Oh, really?
They don't pick up on that because they're too worried about what they do have in the car.
That might explain something, because I got asked one time when I crossed the border if I had any spicy Doritos.
Yes, that's what he was doing.
And I'm like, what?
He was exactly, and you gave him the answer he wanted. See, the criminal might have been real worried that there's something, they're too worried about what they do have
Well, I
to
just
think it's funny.
I figured that it was his favorite snack and he wanted some.
Yeah, I had a cop actually tell me that he asks that, like when he's asking about drugs in the car, he'll do the same thing. He'll mix in something ridiculous.
Well, do you remember the bull run? You ever watch the bull run when it was going on?
What do you mean?
It was kind of like a cannonball run. So
I figured.
they would start in one city and then bunch of people would drive down to another city. So this one particular time, it started in Calgary, and it drove. I think it was someplace they went down to Vegas where the first stop, but I think they were going all the way down to Texas on this bull run. And so that was the run. And they kind of had the pre-start of it all, where we all went into downtown Calgary. You could talk to the drivers and see the cars and all that. And I remember Mr. Angry was there, Mike Musto with the Charger, and that's the first time I seen them. I remember Richard Rollins being there,
Yep.
Aaron Kaufman, and so when they all took off, I ran back to my car so I could follow them, but they went to a different border crossing than I did. So they were like, "Hey, why are you going to the States?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just following these guys."
Right.
But have you seen any cool cars come through? He's like, "No, they must have went to the other crossing." I said, "Well, I'm just going to get gas and come back then." He's like, "Okay."
It's like crossing the Canadian border on Family Guy. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Hey man, okay, good. Have a good day.
That's pretty much how it was. It was pretty cool actually. He asked me a couple questions about the cars, like where'd you buy it from? Because that was my '99 Trans Am, my convertible, had the Ram Air, the WS6 6-speed, and he's like, eventually he's like, "Oh, cool car." I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And it was fairly new back then, but so yeah, we just literally went into Sweetgrass, got some gas, turned around, came back.
Want to say hi to Hoosier. Want to say hi to Captain Do. Crashes Roadrunner Garage like that. And the question here, Family Garage, we won't know if the 28 5s fit. I'm really sure a 275 6015 fits on the back of all of those B bodies like you guys have. So it really ought to fit your B body, but I don't know if it would fit that Firebird I believe you guys have. But I think so. I think that'll fit them both. We'd love to have you in it. Do remember, too, that in the bracket, really, there's no reason to not get in the bracket, all of you guys. You don't have to run your car any harder than you want to. If you want to go out and make a 660-foot parade lap at 35 miles an hour, you can do it. If you want to buy back in, we're doing first-round buybacks in the bracket to benefit St. Jude's. St. Jude's is going to get all of the first-round buybacks. So just go if you can have fun with it. If you've never bracket raced before and you can't cut a light to save your life, so what? It's a parade. Make a parade lap out of it. Really, we ought to have everybody in the bracket for that reason.
Well, just being forthright, I haven't drag raced legitimately in over 20 years.
Yeah.
So I am definitely doing the bracket.
Yeah, just do the bracket. Have fun with it. I mean, you never know. You might go some rounds and surprise yourself. You never know, because most of the people here have never raced.
Yeah, well, I remember the first time I ever went to, we had Race City up here. They had their Friday night secret street, they called it. And you'd pay your $20 and you just race all night. And it was all night. Well, you get in, and it's still some light, but then it ended up being dark, and you were racing until about, I think they shut it down around midnight or something like that. And the first car I ever pull up to is some alcohol burning Camaro that had no just open headers. I remember pulling up to the light with my Trans Am and that thing beside me. He just does his burnout. My windows are shaking, and I'm like, holy crap! Right? It was a little intimidating. And this, of course, is the first race. I left my traction control on, and I did every rookie mistake you could possibly make, but it was still fun.
Captain Do, are you talking about that electric vehicle? It went back to two doors from four, but went to electric. Who cares? It's gone. Dr. Art, you're welcome to jump in. Anybody's welcome to jump in. There's the link at the top.
I see Big Block addressing my concerns there. Yeah, thanks, Big Block.
Family Garage, you got crunch time. So the rear end is coming back next week. Dyno on the 9th, 2 tests and 2 nights for Sykeston. Let me tell you, that is one more dyno session and 2 more test and tunes than a lot of these people are going to have.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling some of these people are going to hear it run and go. And their test and tune is going to be the drive over.
Well, that's how I'm going to get used to Big Block's cars on the drive there, I think. So
seriously, yeah, there's going to be a lot of really untested stuff there. The good news is that hey, you can thrash over there. You can thrash in the pits. Thursday night, Friday night, whatever you need to do
Yeah.
it.
Well, I'm looking more forward. I'll be honest. I'm looking more forward to the socializing aspect of it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Really,
to
that's what
me,
it's
that's
about.
what it is about. Like, even if I didn't make the 500, I figured $75 is a cheap spectators. Well, maybe a little more expensive spectator. It's not that bad. I get a spectator's ticket for all weekend. Now, I was fortunate enough to make the 500, so that's awesome. But I think that's
Yeah.
pretty decent price to partake in that type of event
We
in
wanted
any
to be
fashion.
as reasonable as we could make it. I
Like,
mean,
you did a great job. You all have,
thanks.
like, and the everyone that's put the work into this, Buzz and yourself, and I'm going to be missing a bunch of people, Dallas, and
Yeah.
even Destroyer donating and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's just
Destroyer put in work too. He's we only wanted sponsors who were philosophically aligned with what we're doing.
I think he is.
We've turned down some significant sponsorship just because I don't want this to turn into a corporate mess.
Yeah,
I'm not going to allow it to.
like,
So if somebody wants to sponsor it, they're from our own ranks. That's the kind of people that we would entertain talking with. But the soul of the event, the mission, is not for sale. So this is going to be a big YouTuber homecoming with a drag strip, and we're going to have a whole bunch of fun, and we're going to put on a great show. And anybody who wants to come out and participate in that, that's what it's about.
yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. I
It's
think it's
been
gonna be
both
great.
the greatest plus and the biggest challenge has been the simple thing that's different about this event than all the others. See, a lot of these big events, what happens is they hire talent to come in and entertain the fans who buy spectator tickets, right? And that's okay, but there's a firewall there. So, for example, no matter what the spectators do, the talent doesn't care because
Yeah,
the talent doesn't get weighed down or any of that stuff. They can't, all the spectators in the world can insult Freiburger's flip flops, and Freiburger doesn't care.
this is
Okay,
true. Yeah,
he's getting paid. He's going to have dinner in the same place, talk to the same people he wants to, and leave. What's different about the No Name Nationals is we have these people from all over the spectrum, people starting new channels and getting the opportunity to become content creators and share the stage with other fellow content creators. And it makes it really different, but it also presents challenges with that because uh, most people who are wired to be a content creator already are, and they're self-motivated and all of that. A lot of people have stepped up to the plate and found out that they can be a content creator on a level they never thought of, and it's awesome.
yeah.
The Bear Roses, the Two Hacks, the Sam from White Trash Motorsports, and all of these guys have found out that they could be more of a content creator than maybe they ever thought, and the community is helping them get there. Unfinished project. We'll see you later. You're close. You got to come on alive. But what happens is some of them carry a fan mentality into becoming a content creator, and sometimes it can create a rub. And that's just one of the challenges that we have with this event. But the good part of it is helping all of these channels, make it. That's made it worth it, and
Yeah.
and that's what seeing them make progress and grow as channels and the way this community's grown because of it, that's what makes
Yeah.
worth dealing with the rest.
This is an awesome community. Like,
It is.
it's unbelievably supportive. You're going to have your 1%ers that
Yeah.
are the pain in the butt, sure. And
Yeah.
like I think you said on the other live is they use up about 90% of your time.
They do sometimes.
The other 99 use up about 10% of your time, right?
Yeah. And it was, for most of this run, yes, I did get spend a disproportionate amount of time with the No Name 500 guys because I'm really committed to seeing that class be all it can be. And next year, I won't be able to do quite as much hands-on with them, but it was a good balance of time and spending the vast majority with all of the 99% who are just awesome. And then when we got about we started getting about 70 days out is when it got really rough. and that and some of them that couldn't hold it together started really getting rough. But I'm telling you, we're going to make it through. We got things that are going to make next year even better. I'm really excited about that. But what's most exciting is 35 days from now.
Oh yeah,
that's our homecoming, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, getting more and more excited about that. I'm counting the days, just like that sign, crossing them off the calendar.
35. 35.
And the fun thing is, I still set my goals of what I'd like to achieve for myself prior, as the countdown keeps on going, and where I'd like to be when I get there. So you don't have to stop at the 500 mark. You can set other goals.
Hey, Dust Devil Brian, there are 831 hours until the gates open. You're welcome. Actually, I think I was off a little bit on that. Oh yeah, I was. There are 800 hours and 33 minutes until the gates open. That's right. We're open gates on Thursday. There's 800 hours to go.
Crazy.
Do we need a homecoming queen? I know the answer to that. We got some drama queens out there.
For one or two of those, yeah.
I plan on working after that mark. Yeah, there'll be people working on their stuff at, Here's the thing. So Thursday, the gates open at noon on Thursday, the 29th. We have our cruise to Lambert's. We're going to open the gates, I believe, at 8 a.m. Friday. And what we're going to have is just meet and greet, hang out, all that stuff from 8 to 10. Our goal is at 10 a.m., we're going to assemble for a group photo the best we can.
Well, that'll be great.
My Aunt Nancy wants to be homecoming queen. If she wants to come to the event, I can see that.
You got to cater around in her van then.
Well, the van's going to be there. The van is going to be there. And, yeah, I'm planning on taking it.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Just make sure you got good battery in it.
Yeah, that's a good
the other band, but
that's a good point. My comments are jumping back and forth here a little bit. No windshield needed, just use a helmet. Yeah, you don't have to have a windshield. You don't. Oh, really? And I'll tell you, there are some people that need that. Ron English is voting for my aunt. There you go.
There you go. I'll vote for your aunt.
How full are you packing the van? Not like I was at Carlisle. At Carlisle, I had an engine, a transmission, third member for an 8 3/4, a couple headers in there.
Well, depending how hard you race, you might still need it that full, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I won't have all that in there. I should have one transmission in the back, though.
How often do you go to Carlisle?
I've only been to Carlisle 3 times in my life.
I've been there once,
and the other 2.
That was crazy. I have never been to a swap meet like that in my life up until that point.
Yeah, Carlisle it's different. It's different. Stuff with Cletus says his vehicle's going to be packed, setting a whole compound. Cletus, are you entering the burnout competition? I hear that. Yeah, so I had the van. My van self-identifies as a 62 Valiant when it goes to Carlisle. He said it was the talk of the aisle. Yes, it was. Street Fox wants to use the van for a short. Well, you come to the No Name Nationals, Street Fox. You can do a short on it. Or let me know where to meet you. You live 8 miles from me. That was easy enough, right? No, not Carlisle, Arkansas, Cletus. Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'll show what he was talking about. I have, what was that, July?
I think I can't remember when I went down there. It must have been 5 years ago or so now. We went down for the Pontiac Nationals in Ohio.
This is what they are referring to. I think it blended right in with the 60 to 66A body
Sure.
modified.
Which one is it? Is it the one in the? I can't tell.
Exactly. No one knew. It blended right in. And as you can see, do have a judging sticker on the windshield.
Nice.
Don English said, yeah, we're not here to be judged. I said, oh, you want to bet? I think we are. Yeah, the guy at the gate just about didn't let me in.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he didn't like that. Rocky Meyer says monkey bike burnout contest. Yes, if you're running in the monkey bikes, you can get in the burnout competition. The Destroyer1320.com burnout competition allows monkey bikes.
I was just going to bring that up, Big Block, about the monkey bike dyno. I haven't watched it yet.
No, I won't give any spoilers, but they do get horsepower and torque figures on the monkey bike, and you might be impressed what it made.
Well, I'm thinking if it even registered, I'd be impressed. So
it did. They actually got clean numbers on it.
Oh, wow.
So go over and watch the James and James show's Monkey Bike Dyno. They chassis dyno to monkey bike. It was cool.
Talk about someone that came up through the numbers quick, right? James and James.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good job getting through there. So, and it did not take them long once they got rolling.
It took them 15 days and just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they did it from 59 subscribers. He said the clutch wasn't happy after that. The clutch wasn't happy after me taking that monkey bike off-road, too. I took the monkey bike off-road. It didn't like that clutch was smoking. James and James, Big James, a big old guy. I don't know how tall he is. He's got to be 6.5 feet tall. Look at him get on that bike. He looked mildly more ridiculous than Dallas trying to ride that thing, but it was, that clutch didn't like moving me or him, I'm sure. Oh, I clipped out something from, if you haven't seen the first video James and James did on the monkey bike, I clipped out a section of it. I'll show you here. If you haven't seen it, you're missing this. Little James. It's a fun video. You'll want to see it.
That reminds me of when I was a kid riding around on my dirt bike on all the gravel roads. I figured it was the fastest thing in the world doing, I don't know, probably 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, video. Yeah, I just haven't seen it. I've got more car shows to offend coming up soon. I've got ideas for that. I think that the lawn chair and white New Balance shoes crowd, I think offending them at car shows is a badge of honor. First responder, you're welcome to try. I mean, jump on in.
I'll prevent you from the rookie mistake. If you haven't been on StreamYard before, make sure you shut your YouTube down before you get on the StreamYard.
Shut the YouTube browser off so it doesn't echo and all that stuff. Yeah, James and James showed what you have to do to get 441 subs in 15 days. It takes content every day. That's something, just advice I would give anybody who's trying to make their last push for 500 here. Stop worrying about production value and get that content out.
Particularly start working on the shorts. I think that helps quite a bit, actually.
Think about it. If you have 10 subscribers or 20 subscribers, and you make a really nice, well-produced video that 10 people see, you might make one more subscriber. If you make a video that's not well-produced, but it's just content, you might get one subscriber. There is no, you're definitely benefiting more by getting more content out, especially when you have fewer subs, than a higher grade of content. Without a doubt, especially when you're trying to make your subscribers. So for all of you guys who still need to get your 500 subscribers, you should be making like 3 shorts a day at least. Get your name out there. Get on people's suggestions. Title those shorts properly. Stop worrying about getting the music right. Stop worrying about, I'm going to think about doing this, and I'll get this ready. I'll get the shop ready. Then I'll do this. 3 days go by. You have 35. So if you let 3 days and an afternoon go by, that's 10% of all of your time.
Yeah, well,
so my suggestion, hammer out those shorts.
I made one short where I went to our local dump and called it dumpster diving. I pulled a couple wheels and tires out of the pile that I can use here. And I mean, I got like, I can't remember, 2,000 views or something within minutes, right?
Right. I left my lights on one day, and I go out in the driveway. CRV's got a dead battery, right? So I have another battery that I keep right on the porch, right by the driveway, just for jump starting the car, right? Just a simple way to do it. And it was dead too. I'm like, So I go get my little trickle charger and hook that on there. And I just stayed there and I shot about a 12-second short. And I said, when plan A turns into plan B, turns into plan C. 1,200 views, got about 10 or 15 subs off of it. Took me less than 1 minute.
Yep.
Hammer out that kind of content.
Go to a car show, film some of the local cars, and put up a short of that even.
Street Fox, by the way, is exactly right. He got 310 subscribers in 1 day. He's gotten 1,000 in 1 week. He had a couple hundred at the beginning of the year, and he's around 4,000 subs now.
Yeah.
So you guys who need subs, please get him, hammer away.
On the channel. Shorts. Yeah, he's a great example of growing it fast with the shorts. And another one is dudes with wrenches. Like,
well, he's gotten 50,000 since July.
He had 700 on July 4th.
Last month he had 700.
And he's at just about 55,000 now.
55,000 off the shorts.
Yeah.
He's, of course, he offers really valuable shorts, a good theme.
He knows
what he's doing. But Auto Salvage Outlaws, he got 260 off the short. Mopar didn't use shorts to get to 500. Right now, that is your strategy. If you still need subscribers for the No Name Nationals, that's going to be your opportunity, your possibility. And you never know what's going to hit. Bear Rose got he had a short go nuts that he made in March, and it didn't pick up until maybe a month or two ago. And sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes, but you know what, Travis? Some of those you did says nothing's taken off. You'll have one of those take off next month out of nowhere. That happens. I had 78 people out of the blue today watch my drunks getting thrown out of a football game video. 78 people. Why? I don't know. I made that video years ago. You never know what's going to hit and when.
Yeah, you got First Responder. That's who I'm talking about.
Auto Salvage Outlaws. He had one to hit 8,000 views in an hour.
Yeah, you just don't know which ones are going to hit. Like, I've got ones that have done 10 views, and I have some that have done 4,000 views.
Yep.
And surprisingly, it's the one hey, this one's going to be great. You get like 10 views on it. You're like, I'm just going to throw this one out there. You got 4,000 views. It's like, what?
Street Fox actually knows the number of shorts you can do at once. You can upload 15 at a time and 100 a day.
I don't
Good for you for even knowing that.
I remember looking at Street Fox's channel like back, I think this was around the time we were doing the LS Volvo build. And, he was just fairly new, didn't have a lot of subscribers yet, didn't have a lot of videos. Next time I look at it a couple months later, I'm like, what the heck happened here,
Yep.
man? He's got these
That's
shorts
it.
up. He's got over 1,000 subs. He's just like, I'm like, holy smokes. Hey, wasted.
Wasted talent fabrications. First responder needs 44. If you have not yet subscribed to First Responders
Yeah, I'll
Garage,
go right there. Let's have a look.
check him out. Yeah, licensed songs. I'll tell you, the music and produced stuff is nice. So understand, I'm just talking about within the context of getting your subscribers by the 30th of September this year. I would say just hammer away on your content. And here goes the neighborhood. There's Cletus.
What's up?
If you guys haven't
Cousin
seen
Cletus.
it, there was a live here not long ago with Wasted Talent Fabrications, and Cletus was on there. And this Pier 4 brawl breaks out behind him on his street. And like the champ he is, he goes out and records it. And they are throwing down. Like, this is something that should be on World Star, but no, it's just on Stuff with Cletus. And these people were nuts. I mean, there's a minivan backing into somebody, fist fighting. If you haven't seen it and you're morbidly curious, check it out. It's on Cletus' channel.
It was a crazy night for sure. It's usually a really quiet area around here. Well, Mongrels, you've been around here. It's
no, it's quite nice area actually. Yeah,
hey,
almost Canadian.
Tony's asking what hotel everyone's staying. I don't know where everyone's staying. I know that I'm staying at the Best Western there in Sykeston. I know there's some people we know staying at Drury. I have had a recommendation against staying at that Super 8. And I get these from people who go to that, who frequent that track and have stayed at all of them. So that's all I can tell you. But I got reservations at the Best Western over there. And Best Western I know is pet friendly, and so is Drury.
Hey, everybody in the chat. Well, I think I'm going to do a tent. So
Hotel Jeep, yep. And you can camp at Jeffers too. What I will probably do is, got a room I can always cancel or whatever, but probably won't. That will be, I'm probably going to wind up crashing in the van more often than not because I just got to see what's going on there.
Well, it's sure to be late nights, early mornings.
Exactly. Ari says there's plenty of room at the Hotel California. What room number, Picker? Because I have no idea. Don't tell me when I get there.
I'm sure you'll give it out to everybody too.
I don't think it would make any difference, to tell you the truth.
There we go. Camp at the TCC compound. There we go.
I lock the hotel door for the people on the other side safety, not mine. Put it like that. But now you got camping there. There's a few hotels there. It's not really isolated. You're 6 miles from Sykeston Minor, the big intersection where Lambert's is. Bopar's
Have you ever been to Lambert's?
I have. Actually, Dallas and I went, and we tried to do a reservation for 100. They wouldn't do a reservation at all. So we said, okay, then we'll just come take the place over on that Thursday. So they said, okay. Yep. So we're going to be doing a flash mob car show in their parking lot. And that's open to anyone. So whether you're participating in the No Name National, spectating, you just live in the area, doesn't matter. Bring your iron out. Come meet us over in the parking lot at Sykeston's restaurant at Lambert's Sykeston location there. And we're leaving the track around 6, so 6:30ish, and just come hang.
Pretty good place. I think they're going to be surprised.
Yeah. Layton, what's happening?
Going on.
Oh, you are now. Tony says, I'm not going to have a car ready. But coming anyway. Well, good, because this thing is about, this is about a content creator homecoming. That's what it's about.
That's what the rental car companies are for too, Tony's Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Just
Memphis isn't that far away.
No. And you know what? I know cousin Cletus down there. He'd like to see an electric car on that track just to
Oh,
see
I
what
love
it
it.
could do.
That'd be
So
hilarious.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get
That hurt everybody's feelings, wouldn't it?
yeah, get the
I
Ford
hope
EV
somebody
and a
does bring
Tesla
a
on there.
Tesla.
Can we?
They can bring a
Is
Tesla.
there a place that
Especially
rents?
in a 8th mile, whatever. I don't think
So how are
anything
you
can
going to charge a Tesla there? Because we don't have electricity's in short supply. So
Yeah.
Leighton, you're going to fire up a welder and give them a plug-in to charge a Tesla. I mean,
I guess you
Hey,
had to charge it at the hotel. You had to stay at a
Hey,
hotel that has a
I
charging port.
guess.
that a Tesla Plaid runs 630s in the 8th mile.
Oh yeah, they can be quick. Yeah.
I seen one at George Ray's. It ran 630, and I said,
I am pretty sure they have a quick charging station right there in Sykeston too. I think they have two of them.
I got to
Oh, do I
figure out
need
how
to
to
rent one?
repurpose those. Dust
You know,
Devil's bringing a generator.
I'm gonna look tonight and see if I can rent a Tesla.
Yeah,
Do it.
so right outside there is a Tesla charging station right outside of Sykeston, so
No, that's good.
There you
about 3 miles outside.
Yeah, the hotels. A lot of the hotels have them now.
go.
Yeah.
Where you at, Tony? How many you got to go?
Probably you the same thing I'm thinking. Well, I'll go rent a Tesla. I don't know if they'll rent the Plaids out, but
I don't think they
NSD
rent them.
says
Well, they
they're
do
gonna
have
have
that. What's
the big
that site
welder.
you can rent people's? Is a Toro? I think it's a site called Toro. You can rent people's sports cars, Porsches, anything.
Hertz is renting the GT500 Shelbys.
well, I'm gonna go look at Hertz in. Yeah, NSB said they're gonna have their service. I think they're gonna have their service truck there. I
They're
talked.
gonna have a tire machine there too. A
Nice.
Coates rim clamp tire machine. So if you need to have tires changed on the rims, which I know a lot of our burnout competition guys are, keep that in mind. We're going to have tire service on site, or at least a tire machine.
Where's Jackson?
He's in bed.
Don't go to bed.
Okay.
Coffee stand. There you go. All right, so he's gonna do a coffee stand. I bet you'd sell.
I believe Stephen Holtz is going to be doing coffee samples there for his business.
Oh well.
Wow, he's going to have a tire changer, a welder, and a crane.
We
You
just-
are going to be popular on Friday
we
night.
just need a lift there, and then we got the whole gambit covered.
NSB, do you have a MIG welder on that machine, or is it just an arc welder?
It's a good question.
Because I got my MIG and my TIG I can bring up. Like I told NSB I was going to bring my TIG and let one of his guys test it out, see
Yeah.
what he about it.
Well, I guess Waits is not bringing his welder and all that like he originally planned. So he said something about bringing a different trailer even.
This is fun. I should put Cletus up in the upper left so people will think that it's his live.
They could.
Because we got mongrels in here. It's pretty close.
Yeah. Well, we had one the other day, didn't we? On
We
Wednesday.
did. It's
That
been a
was good.
while, but yeah, we
It's
did
been a
one
while.
2 days ago now.
Yeah.
And we used to do them. Gosh, we used to do them all the time, almost all night long.
Yeah,
was
I remember
crazy.
right with the LS Volvo building is when I started getting into the YouTube thing, and No Name, his Big Buck was telling me about it, and I remember those lives. It was long lives at night.
Well, we took all that time to get ready for that build. And I'm telling you, the No Name National is going to be way bigger.
Yeah.
And even with all that time, there was still some things that we missed. So it's No Name National is going to be a little crazy, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, 35 days to go. This is the original date for the No Name Nationals. It was supposed to be August 26th and 27th, and it wound up turning into September 30th and October 1st because of the Midwest Junior Dragsters.
I'm glad
And
I
that-
wouldn't have been ready.
That's what happened. So I told Dallas, I said, the extra time is going to benefit very, very few people, but for those it does, that's great.
Let's see. Street Fox, the El Camino's been sold, bud. It sold pretty much as soon as the Volvo got here. It sold right then. So
Hey, Destroyer, James and James.
Rory, what's up, buddy?
I got
Another
so much
great guy there.
next year. If
Destroyer, what's happening? By the
goes
way,
right, I got so much going on.
at the conclusion of this live at 10 Eastern, Destroyer is going to be having a little party to discuss the new current state of Dodge and their electric vehicles.
I'll
So
be
you
there.
don't want to miss that. Also, if you haven't seen Cletus's throwdown that he filmed in the neighborhood, I just put a link to it.
Yeah.
That's
Although,
not usual stuff I post, guys. So if y'all want to check it out, don't
you
think I'm
better
gonna post.
have. You better
Hopefully,
have.
don't post it all the time. I mean, don't
I
get me
want you
wrong;
to
they're
get a
out there
better
fighting. I'll
camera.
go. What is
Right.
it, bud?
You get a better camera for the next one, bud.
Oh yeah. Well, I wasn't really prepared. I'm just like I was on here and then I just ran out there with my cell phone real quick.
I've got a short video that I'm thinking about dropping. It's about 4 or 5 years old, but there was racing in Memphis. Stuff happened, and there was like 50 people fighting.
I wasn't there. Was a Super Chevy show?
No, it was on the streets.
Oh well, never.
But in the video, there you can only see about 15 people. But behind the cameraman, there was a pack of people, and there was this drunk guy on the tailgate of this truck throwing beer bottles at everyone. Every once in a while, you'd hear it, whip past you, and it splattered around there. And every once in a while, you'd hear a thud when that bottle got thrown. It hit someone in the back of the head or something. But it was wild. I need to post it, I guess. It was funny. I thought it was funny. They're all out there fighting the same.
Post it.
I think the
You
one
want to act the fool?
just
Put them out there.
before I got on here, it just got finished up, but it's about No Name Nationals. I thought it was funny. Maybe everyone else would find it funny.
I hadn't seen it yet, obviously, because you just put it up. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be funny.
Yeah, I figured most people are just watching this live, so I figured after this it'll blow up overnight, maybe.
We have 800 hours to go until the gates open. That's literally what it is right now. It's 800 hours and 5.5 minutes. That's exactly what we have.
Wow.
James and James says, what I missed out on. Oh, by the way, James and James, you missed out on this. I told people, if you haven't seen the beginning of the James and James show, if you haven't seen their first video on the monkey bike, you missed this. Big James Pace. I've seen that was Big James filming Pace and Little James on the bike, but man, those guys have embraced the monkey bike class. They put a monkey bike on the dyno. I'm excited that we're going to have more turnout for monkey bike class because Jim Bennett was bringing the heat. He was going to bring a monkey bike to try to rule them all. And yeah, that was so funny. I laughed out loud when I saw that clip. Little James is funny. But
yeah, I told Big Buck, I said, man, I can't wait to meet James and James. I said, because they're funny. Which
they got the right attitude. They embraced this thing and ran with it. They got their subs in 15 days.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Days, like they're gonna get it in like a week. Like
they got it in 15 days in just under 2 hours. They got it in 362 hours. What they got it in.
I made that little video about what was going on. People, hey, you still going to No Name or where's the car at? Like, life, man. It just like right now, I got the kids. My wife's at work. She probably won't be home till 10 or 11 tonight. Which I might go at this shop tonight. I don't know yet.
I'm here in Georgia. I'm not in my studio. I'm in Decula, Georgia. So I'm sitting on a deck and got lots of bugs making noise all around me. My dog is out here somewhere, I'm assuming. He must be taking a nap. I haven't seen him. I'm in a little different spot. Instead of booking a guest tonight, I thought we would do something like this. This little social roundtable. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for having us on, John.
You
Yeah,
got the
man.
main man mongrels on here. I mean, shoot.
I know. I was surprised.
Oh, come on now.
The Canadian guy out there.
But judging from the comments, I think they want another encore. That just cracked me. I don't know why I found that so funny.
Can you legally ride one of those on the roads down there?
I don't know.
What if we
I
can?
mean,
You can come to my house. You come to
How,
my house.
how long do you think it would take me to ride one of those?
Well, so Dallas is
Back.
out there. Dallas gets out on one, and we decided to see what would happen if we put some bottle rockets in a mortar tube on the back.
Oh, I seen that video.
And the thing actually had some legit propulsion from those. You can see it in the video. It actually picked up the 60 foot on the bike. It did. And then he said after that, you couldn't feel anything, but then the rockets just popped. It cracked the tube.
Oh, can we strap a oxygen tank on one and just like open a valve, like a quick valve up? How do
Well, you have to ask Dallas. I know that nitromethane is not allowed.
Well, see, it wouldn't even go to the motor. It'd just be strap an oxygen bottle on the seat, sit on the tank, have your valve, make your rocket. See, rocket
Wendy,
valve.
so, by the way, good point for Ron English. Be careful of anything glass. Yeah, we don't want any broken glass in the pits and police our own trash. We want to leave Jeffers nicer than we found it. Jeffers is a very nice place. It's going to be nice when we get there. We want it to be even nicer when we leave.
yeah, we want them to want us back, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
without a doubt.
that's just my opinion. I don't like glass bottles being at a racetrack.
What? Look at this. So I get a message from the James and James show. He found this score. This guy is trying to corner the market on monkey bikes
Oh.
to prevent competition.
I can't find one around here. I can find
I don't
the
know.
bigger ones all day, but the smaller ones I can't
I can
find.
probably get a few from the Princess Autos up here.
There's some up around
I don't
here.
know what these are. Yeah, it's a CT100U. It looks like an older one with metal fenders. That actually is what you need. So you might want to get in touch with James and James.
I found some on the marketplace on Facebook up towards me and Big Box, Cletus. But they're proud of them things.
Oh well, that might be what it is too. I don't like spending too much money either.
So this is if the monkey bikes take off this year, which they're really late blooming, but if they take off, we've got Kim Fixes Things Field the monkey bike. We've got James and James Field the monkey bike. We have some others. I know that Clay from my next project is talking about doing a monkey bike build on the way down here because he says he can't find them in Canada. So
Really?
yeah, you know what? If monkey bikes take off and it's a good competitive class, we bring them back. Look out, because I can see next year people having a big head start on them.
Well, maybe for promotion next year, I'll ride one down to visit Cletus, and we'll do the Hemi swap and then ride it back.
How many months do you have to get there?
I don't think it's going to be legal.
So James and James is showing this deep, dark, carefully guarded secret of how to be successful like them. Post every day. Yes,
How that happened.
that is the right answer. And when there's people who think, no, there's more to it than that, no, there really isn't. Yes, it does help to be, rock stars like they are. Yes, but post is the important thing. He's
I might have heard that someplace today. I
spot on true.
I just don't remember where.
He needs the parts because he's sending some of them to the moon.
Yeah.
Andy, you got here at just the right time. Andy, you're welcome to jump on. It's a Friday. You're welcome to jump on, man. Links and pinned up there.
What you could do next year is a lawnmower race too.
Hey, we do a lawnmower race. I promise you, I'll build something, and you better be ready.
I know. If we'd had a lawnmower race, we'd have had 16 lawnmower field. Easy. I get it. Yes, I know. But people understand.
You know what? What about the bar stool or the cooler races?
You got to understand. There's reasons. See, people who say, "Well, that's easy. Why didn't they do this? That would have had a big turnout." No, it's not.
Of course.
because we would have had people doing 60 miles an hour on lawnmowers and getting hurt.
Yeah.
And lawnmowers already have such a following for racing that the problem is you'll have ringers come out for that.
Well,
The
I think we got a
lawnmower
storm
thing would be
brewing.
too.
I'll be
It
right
would be
back.
too hard to police for speed and safety. There are reasons we didn't do lawnmowers. I'll tell you another class we thought about too. We thought about doing the rototillers. You know, there are people who race rototillers. It's a thing overseas, believe it or not.
No, it's a thing in Arkansas.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the racing rototillers. There's a guy, and this is for real. Dallas showed me. This guy's getting about 60 miles an hour. He's I don't know what he's got on his feet or what he's standing on exactly, but he's running a rototiller about 60 miles an hour down the drag strip, standing up. Now it's cool, but here's the problem with that. You get people who don't have those built carefully. They don't have, say, bike experience. They don't have the right safety equipment. The other thing, too, rototiller is pretty obscure. I bet you that half our audience doesn't even know what that is. So that class would take years to get enough people to catch on. So of all the things we've considered about when it comes to safety, when it comes to obscurity, when it comes to people overbuilding for the class and stuff, the thing we settled on is we thought, you know what? Let's give them a spec mini bike and let them just show us what they can do with that. And that was, there's a lot that goes into figuring out what our goofy spec class would be.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which, for the safety part, I completely understand with the safety part. Because I've got a drawing in my bedroom in a notebook of a lawnmower that is tube chassis with a cage with a motorcycle motor that everyone has been out had drag four-wheeler. I sold it 4 years ago, and every time I see someone, when are you building another four-wheeler? Like, I want to build a lawnmower so I can put a cage on it, so if I wreck it, it's not as bad.
And that's the thing. If we got lawnmowers going 100 miles an hour, which we would, somebody gets hurt. What we wanted to do is that's the reason why we didn't want people playing around with the gearing on the monkey bikes, because those things going 60. I mean, look how scary that is, right? So we had to figure out what could we do and keep it safe.
Yeah,
See, it's easy with cars, because with cars we've got such a long history of the safety equipment for sanctioning, right? I mean, look at how long and well understood things like seat belts and helmets and roll bars and cages and battery hold downs and radiator overflow bottles. That stuff has been understood for so long that we're not having any problems with any of that with any of the cars. When you come out with a brand new class for the monkey bike, you're starting from scratch, and we got to keep everybody safe on year one.
that's right.
That's the challenge. That's why we didn't do mowers. It's why we didn't do rototillers. First thing I thought of was riding mowers. I love the idea, but
yeah,
that's why.
Speaking of helmets,
it is Ari, but it's also somebody's insurance policy.
yeah. Speaking of helmets, John,
YouTubers who go nuts with things.
what are the requirements for a helmet?
Regular traditional helmet requirements. It's in the rule book what the last Snell rating is. So I will say this. I don't want to sit here and tell you what rules are important and what rules are not. I mean, how can I do that? But if you have any specific questions, just ask Dallas.
Okay.
Okay, call the AHRA main number, ask Dallas.
Are there helmets available at the track, or you got to bring your own? That's
I'm
kind of
sure, our friends will all have helmets there, but generally you should have your own anyway. If you can have your own helmet, you should get your helmet. I mean, but I'm sure our friends will all have helmets, but I mean, we're not providing any per se. But you need a helmet, and Dallas is probably pickier on helmets than some of the other rules. I think the AHRA is a little stricter on helmet than most sanctioning bodies, even though overall the AHRA's rules are a little more reasonable, I think, than the other sanctioning bodies. They're a little tougher on helmet.
Yep. Fair enough. Well, I've got my motorcycle helmet, so I should be okay. It just
Big Block has helmets, so.
Yeah, Leighton blinked on us. I'll let him back in if I see him pop back in the bottom here. We're going 50 guaranteed.
Well, Big Block has a helmet for you mongrels if you need one too.
Yeah.
Speaking of Big Block, when you were asking about the burnout competition, I'm pretty sure he's going to win that. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some competition, but I'm not going to be. I can't beat him. I know.
Cletus, you doing the burnout competition?
No.
Oh, come on.
Well, the Volvo, I put new brakes, and I ain't done much else to it after that. But I put new drilled and slider rotors, did the new brake pad. I did all the new brakes on it, and it didn't want to do a burnout too well.
Also, remember that if you have any interest in attempting to be the overall winner of the No Name Nationals and win the AHRA National Event Trophy with Cheryl Greer on it, which is a big, nice national event trophy, the same one that all other national event winners win, you need to participate as much as you can. So remember, everything has points associated with it. So,
Cletus, in regards to, that car not doing a burnout, I would go back to whoever did that work and have a very long discussion with them about the lack of power that the car has.
Oh, it'll do a burnout. It's got power. It's just with the new brakes, you got to give it a little extra.
Yeah. That's what the line locks are for, buddy.
Yeah, and I just haven't done it. I still haven't fixed. I started working on the power steering system, and it needs a new power steering pump. I just haven't done it.
Well, I'm surprised you started working on that before the AC.
I've got that set, but I haven't put the money in it, so it's not going to have AC by then either. In fact, I'm going to instead of driving it there, I'm going to trailer it there. So I haven't really done anything with it. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how little comfort requirement I have. I appreciate it, but man, I can literally sleep on the rocks. Doesn't bother me. I appreciate that, though.
I can sleep under the stars too, John, as long as it's 3 or more.
Ain't that weird to Dallas out? I can just sleep right on a wood floor. Doesn't bother me. Seriously.
So, what branch of the military were you in?
I was not.
Oh,
I just don't have any.
It's usually a sign of being in the military. You sleep whenever, wherever.
I don't. Dallas was saying in the Navy, he said you get to where you can sleep anytime, anywhere, because you stay so exhausted and sleep for if you have an 18-minute window, you can sleep. You will sleep 17 minutes right there on the spot. Oh, yeah,
because you might not sleep for another 2 days.
That's it. That's exactly right. But no, I crash out. I sleep on the floor just fine. It works for me. I don't like to mess with that. So he's going to sleep under the duster. Brian, come on the live and tell us how that duster's doing. Punisher, why don't you jump on live? I've not seen you on live before.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody else needs to jump on. I've got to jump off here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
I go pick up my
Colleen, jump on a live. You've never been on one of my lives. Come do it.
Where'd Destroyer go? Destroyer, he could jump on.
Yeah, Eric. By the way, I'll mention again, he's got a live called RIP Dodge, and he's going to be talking about the current state of Dodge's offerings here that they're coming out with, and you guys can go discuss with your opinions this new electric vehicle that, what was it? Tony DeFeo said it sounds like how do you describe it? It sounded like yeah, but he said, he said? It sounded like a puma in a dumpster or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It sounds pretty bad. I actually like the look of it. I'll tell you that. But
well, the look is fine as long as you plug it in.
Buff's Garage.
That was a good one. Hey, Buff.
So Punisher, I was going to say Punisher has been in a live because we just did one last night and it was awesome.
Cooking chicken, if you want to see that. Well,
of course.
Sure. Why not?
Throw down at, I think it's Traeger, I think he called it.
Puma on a concrete mixer. There you go. That's what it was.
Just know that in 48 minutes, Destroyer 1320 is going to be having his State of the Union on Dodge's new offerings.
So do we get to hear all about the electric vehicle Dodge?
From a huge Mopar fan, yeah. You'll hear it. Destroyer's going to cover it, yep.
Yeah, and I'll be there to counter everything because I'm the big EV fan.
Okay, so Mongrels, if you haven't checked it out, I did a community post today where I shared another channel's video about a C10 that is EV powered.
Yeah.
And, it's not my cup of tea, but it's cool.
Marcos
And-
is not an EV fan.
I
He
know,
was
yeah.
being facetious. I'm an EV fan. Not that I think we're ready for it or that everybody should switch to EV, but I like EVs. I think they're cool.
Yeah, you've always,
So my big thing with it was not that it's EV, it's that we know they make power, right? There's no denying
yeah.
it. And now they're retrofitting it into this square body Chevy. And I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. And they were expecting it to do 9s or 10s.
Well, GM's about to next year. They're going to launch their the EV crate motor. So, like Ford.
I personally won't be buying one. I would rather go, something else all day long. But
well, I've been thinking about. I've got a car. I've been thinking about doing an EV swap on, with a forklift motor or something. It's a, God, what year is that thing? A 92 Geo Metro convertible. That'd be a cool EV swap.
it'd be fun. But
that's a lot of power for a little car.
I'm telling you. It had a 3-cylinder in it. I guess it's still in there, but it's no good.
As I was explaining on Wednesday night, my problem is not with EVs themselves. It's the concept behind the EV, the push behind them. That's what I agree with.
100% agreed. That is not, we're not improving anything.
Here's the thing about the EV. I have no problem with an electric vehicle. Problem is that like every other vehicle, they're massively overcomplicated. Everything works off computers. Everything is impossible to service. And it's just like cars they make today. Like, I love cars. But if the only cars I had to pick from were stuff made in this decade, no, forget it. Everything's integrated into that screen. Every system's dependent on it. I can't stand it. And the problem with electric vehicles is that we haven't had 60 and 70 years of electric. Like, if they made electric vehicles in the 60s and had and that's the kind of stuff, but that's not what we have. What we have is all this massively overcomplicated stuff like a Tesla.
Yeah,
if they would have stayed making electric vehicles back in the 1890s,
right?
Then we'd been good. But
sure,
it's all relying on the battery, which we still haven't perfected.
Oh no, hey, Destroyer, I'm sure he'll talk about it in his live, but he showed me some stuff when I was at his house about some of the new nuclear or diamond batteries and stuff. I was like, whoa, that's actually kind of cool. So,
don't get me wrong, there's some very cool tech to some of this stuff, but the thing that entertains me about it is the person that's concerned about their cell phone giving them cancer is the same person that goes out and gets an EV.
It's sure
because they're saving the planet, right?
Yeah,
they don't think about what it takes to power it, to build the batteries.
Yeah, you drive around in your Faraday cage with your low-level EMF and see how that goes.
Boys, I've got to go pick up my kids, so I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great night.
Cletus, you out? We'll see you, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
When I was at Virginia Tech, the wear lab there, I worked at the wear lab, and the wear lab, first responder in the house. The wear lab is where they built concept vehicles. Kill your YouTube browser, man.
You might just not have the bandwidth.
You might just not have the bandwidth.
Is that better?
Try to mute his mic just a second until we. There we go. We'll leave his mic muted until he kills the YouTube browser. Got to catch that. When I was at Virginia Tech, they built concept vehicles there. And they would do fuel cell, they would do electric and hybrids. And this was in the 90s, right? This was before all these manufacturers were releasing this stuff. And they had a Chevy Lumina that they had converted to electric vehicle. And it was real simple. See, it didn't have all this integrated computers throughout it. They were just working on the platform, the packaging, what kind of batteries. And this Lumina was cool. That thing would do a burnout like you wouldn't believe. Front wheel drive Lumina because all that electric vehicle torque.
Yeah, was that on the skateboard they called it back then? I think GM called it skateboard platform.
I don't know. This was one of those Luminas.
That was around the 90s. They were working on that. They had some great ideas in the 90s. It just didn't fully evolve.
Right. This was like This was like a 95 6 Lumina, and
Yep.
they had retrofitted an electric motor in the front, and that thing would do a burnout like you wouldn't believe it. And they took it around the drill field once, I thought. It was neat, but see, that was before they had all the computers. But now everything is so integrated into the computer systems, it's just actually being able to play with the power and the functionality of the electrics, the stuff we're interested in, has just gone by the wayside.
Yeah, and you got to pretty much be a computer code programmer to mess with any of this stuff now. Because I was trying to come up with some really cool ideas for the Pontiac to kind of bring it a little bit into the future, and it's out there, but nobody seems to want to do it, and I'm not willing to teach myself code to learn it. So right now, no gauges for me, but it's in the future.
There's a lot of stuff you can do. Like there's a lot of you get the GPS gauges and stuff if you want that for your speedo and whatnot. And
well, I have a little Chinese all-in-one, and it actually hooks into the OBD2, and so I'll have the important stuff, which is the tack, temp, all that kind of thing. But I had this crazy idea. If you've seen the 2022 Caddy Escalade, when you turn the key on, it has a splash screen that the entire dash lights up, and it's this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, you can get that on some of these prepackaged systems that are already out there. None that fit my dash. So I was going to put in a display screen instead of the big, huge sweeping speedometer. And then when you turn the key on, it would have a full complement of digital. But guys are like, oh, you got to get this Raspberry Pi, and you have to get this other thing with a funny name, and you got to integrate them all together. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just trying to get the car to start. So I don't care about all that right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I don't like any of that modern stuff.
I'm fascinated by it, but I just don't want to spend the time on it.
It's whatever you want to do. That's the nice thing about this. I mean,
there
to me,
was a time.
Is just that's just kind of they killed it for me.
When I opened up the hood on my Datsun 280ZX, and I looked under the hood of that thing, I'm like, nope, not touching that. Eventually, I had to, and then it was fuel injected and had vacuum hoses everywhere. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. That's when I kind of start getting more and more into the technical side of things and the electronics and everything else. And once I started digging into it, you'd be hard pressed for me to go back to a carbureted vehicle now. Like I just find the fuel injection much, much better.
I think it seems a little more forgiving in certain situations.
It's probably because I drive a lot and I'm up and down mountains and everything else. It's just the EFI is so much better for that.
And you turn the key and you go.
Yep.
I had to learn some code writing too, but I don't think there's a lot of security in that. I like simple that you can get parts for.
Well,
so I've
always done a good job.
Street Fox 347 mentioned he took his EFI car back to carb. I was this close to doing that on this Pontiac, but the funny thing was, for the intake and the carb and everything to do it, it was cheaper for me to just program the ECU and run with it.
That's a big one when you start looking at some of the costs. By the time you get the carburetor, the manifold, the standalone ignition, especially for LS or Hemi swap, you're into it for more than you'd ever just swap that whole EFI on it and go, right?
And I went super cheap. I literally sent off my factory ECU and had it programmed to fit my need. So this truly is the budget of budget builds.
Well, that's where I started my channel. Was the whole idea was, could I get a modern Hemi engine running on a homemade engine stand? And that's where my channel has evolved from. That was the first thing I ever did. Is I got into the newer Mopars. I just got fascinated with that modern Hemi engine and started working on them. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if I get one of these running on a stand, then I can do a swap. So that was the whole motivation behind everything I started. And, I got to the point where but I did it at a time when there was not a lot of support out there for the Hemi. Like, Holly
Well,
hadn't
it's
had
coming
any.
now, though.
It's coming now. Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. And it's a lot easier, but I still know how to take the factory stuff and make the engine run. And it's not that bad.
Yeah, I wish I would have. If I didn't have an LS sitting in my yard, that would not be what's in the Pontiac. But it was already sitting there, so I'll definitely be looking for some other cool ideas to integrate later. Because I got a '74 MG that I inherited from my dad, and it didn't run for over 20 years. I made it run last summer.
Nice.
But I would love to do something trick with it. And I don't need it to be original. He obviously didn't care if it ever ran. It sat in his garage and never ran. But it'd be kind of fun to do something, kick it up a notch.
Well, I'm a firm believer in take what you got and make it work.
Yeah.
LB here. I want to point something out to you guys who may not know. One of the little best kept secrets, it seems, on YouTube. LB Bruin 79, Vince there. He is building a one-off custom carb spacer for just Mopar Joe to test. Okay? And if you're not watching that, you're missing out. He's he's a scientist and a builder, and go check out his channel. He's doing a collaboration with Just Mopar Joe to do a carb spacer and test it. He also needs his 500 subs to go to the No Name Nationals, and he is well short. He needs some subs. Go check out what he's doing. If you have any interest in watching this kind of stuff, go check him out.
Oh, is it 347? So yeah.
No, he's about 200. He's talking to Street Box 347.
Oh,
he's at about 1 million subs.
Oh my
Street
goodness.
Box 347 is now.
He's at 208.
Wow. Mongoose brings up a good point about how you start your channel. What's the focus to start it? And it's interesting because some people start a channel in YouTube for all different reasons. It's not always the same. I watched a video that I really found revolting. Somebody made a blanket statement, beware the monetized channel. Well, I mean, why begrudge anybody that gets 1,000 subs, right?
Right.
There's 100 reasons to start a channel. And some of them take off and some of them don't. There are good channels that struggle to get traction. And there are some terrible channels that get all kinds of traction. Just the way the world works, right? Nothing fair about it. A fair is where you go to eat cotton candy. It's not any kind of condition of life. But I think that's an interesting thing is all the different reasons people start channels. So you started it because of that one project.
Yeah.
I think Buff started his channel just to irritate a guy who no, I don't think. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So,
but he's good at it.
I definitely ran with it, but no, right. I'll tell you why I started it. I originally started the Couple Project, which was a whole different channel with the idea of working with my wife, taking trips, and just documenting stuff. And then something crazy happened. Literally, right here in Kansas, we ran into Michael Finnegan and his whole gang. And it was right in the middle of a race week. And his car broke down in the middle of race week. But he didn't post anything about it. Nobody had anything on YouTube about it. And here our little channel with 100 subs had the exclusive interview with Mike Finnegan about what happened to his car on race week. Thousands and thousands and thousands of views off of that one video. And I went, oh, we need to change direction. And so then I restarted the channel under Buff's Garage and just made it about car stuff.
Garage and just made it about car stuff.
You need to kill your YouTube browser. They got enough signal for you at the moment to kill that YouTube browser.
Yep.
Glad you can join us.
Yep.
But
yeah, my internet's not that good.
Once No Name came along.
Oh yeah, we're getting feedback.
Yeah.
If you got a YouTube browser, make sure you kill it. I'm always checking mine because it's usually me.
Yep.
How you doing, man? First responder, are you locked up or are you in the house? Oh man, I tell you, I don't know if he has enough signal.
I mean, the other thing you can try doing is just stop your camera.
That could help. And kill that YouTube browser because it's got a lot of feedback. It's either that or headphones laying by the computer. It's one or the other. I'm going to mute you just for a second. You can work on that. Feel free. All is good.
Is it still feedback?
Street Fox has got a really good point here. Throw out shorts all you can every day. It works really well.
Oh, yeah.
Street Fox, how many subs are you up to right now? He's one of these guys that really leveraged the shorts effectively.
So I will tell you that I listened to the latest announcement from YouTube about shorts because that's, of course, their big push. And they've now pushed out a new algorithm that will link people from their shorts to their long view videos. That's going to be huge. So all of us that make the long view videos and we were just doing the shorts to get the subs, they're now going to kind of have it forced down their throat that, hey, if you like this, watch this. And I'm really excited for that part. It finally seems like shorts are going to pay off other than subs.
So shorts, I'm not into the shorts thing itself. I don't like the format. They're effective. That's why I like to talk about them. That's why I recommend them. They're effective for getting views and subscribers. But to me, it's like, you ever watch these really young people who use their phone and they just swipe? Like, that's like, to me, is who the shorts are made for. People with an attention span of 0. So I'm not into shorts, but I'm not going to deny they're extremely effective.
And it's like, for me, watching JB's little shop, I love watching JB, his lives, his regular videos. But when he started putting out those sharpening shorts, that's what got me hooked, because I don't want to sit and watch somebody talk about their car for 13, 16, 18 seconds, but I will watch somebody sharpen a saw for 15 seconds. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, shorts are they're a commercial for things that's on their channel, right? That's really what they are. They're useful. They're very useful. Use them as a tool.
And YouTube is now pushing them over to your long term too to help drive it.
We were just talking about that.
How's it going,
I watched it from your channel, Barrows.
Great. How's this, everybody?
All right.
Pretty good, man.
Barrows is a guy who leveraged every tool available to him to succeed in the 500. Every single tool, from how to title stuff to how to do thumbnails to how to do shorts to lives to everything. You used every little thing to move the football forward, and you're a good example of what happens when you do that.
And those that follow that example and latched on,
that's
saw
the guy.
themselves, you know.
That's it.
Everybody followed.
That's it. Yeah, it's funny. We had, and it's just this way with anytime you get a big group of the public together, you'll have a few people that just defiantly say, well, that doesn't work. And then you look 6 months later at their channel, I'm like, you haven't gained 10 subs in 6 months. You're telling us that doesn't work? Meanwhile, the guy who says it does work, his channel's tripled in size. Yeah, I mean,
and they still have no description. Their title is beyond vague.
There's a channel that insisted that the hashtag No Name Nationals was harmful. There are over 4,500 hashtag No Name Nationals videos right now. And the channel that said that has lost at least 60 subscribers in the last few months. Meanwhile, all the channels that are hashtagging No Name Nationals, like Jay from Rabbit Transit Garage, went from a couple hundred subscribers to a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
He has a 2 million view video hashtag No Name National. There's not even a case to make that that's legitimate. I mean, all these little things add up, and you don't have to have one home run to win your subscriber race. You can bunch of base hits. That's exactly what Barrows did. It was a bunch of base hits to win it. Now, he had one viral short to pass me, but he'd already proven everything he needed to prove long before that.
But I'm not the only one. Buck has got
it.
one out that is just killing my big one.
Yeah. Buff's doing great. Mongrel's done great. I've really enjoyed watching this.
Oh, there's so many great channels out there and so much great content. The only problem I have, you can't watch it all.
Yeah. I'm running into that. I try to hit the high spots.
I used to comment on everybody's channel. I would spend hours on this keyboard just, commenting to everybody. And yeah, some of that's come down to just an emoji or a like.
Right. Well, it's like I try to greet everybody at the beginning when we do our Friday lives, and sometimes it takes 5 minutes the first of the live. And from a standpoint of what's probably best for viewers, it's probably not the best, but I'll tell you, these people are the reason we do this, right? I mean, if I wanted to just set up a FaceTime or a private StreamYard with you guys, I could do it. We do these live shows because it's about all of them. It's about everybody in the chat. But you get to a point where it's pretty overwhelming. Sometimes we'll have 50, 60 people in here when we go live. We've had that many in the first minute before, and it's great. It's a great community, but you do get kind of overwhelmed at some point. And it's just like the content. I remember when I could watch every new hashtag video when it came out, and then that got overwhelming really quick.
I mean, all you have to do is go look at the challenge videos and how many of those there are. Like,
my goodness,
to go through even those is unreal, and that's a very small percentage of the videos with the hashtags on them, right?
Chris Greenway, you've told us about a half a dozen times you will never be on a live. Okay, do you want to tell us why you'll never be on a live?
We should have him come on the live to tell us why he won't come on the live.
Come on this live. Tell us why you'll never be on a live. You're welcome to. It's pinned at the top.
And lives work. People get to know you better in a more, I don't know, real live.
Setting. I've been hesitant to do one for so long because I really wanted to just keep the content coming and keep the subs going. And honestly, a little fearful of people seeing me live and I don't like this guy anymore. I already had my haters. So once you already got your haters, it's like, what do you got to lose? And so the opportunity to go hang out at Punisher Le Mans garage, seriously, I was like, hey man, why don't we just do a live? And literally we planned it as I'm going down to Joplin. It's 2.5 hour drive. I'm like, you want to do a live? It's like, yeah, let's do it. And 3 hours, over 3 hours. It was amazing. We couldn't keep up with the chat. It was moving so fast. We're talking podcasts now, the way we were just flowing off each other. It worked awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And you think about it, like, what is alive but a bunch of car people sitting around talking cars like you do with your friends, right?
So I was so afraid we were going to run out of content to talk about. And just when we think we are, boom, it switches and we're still car stuff, but a little different. And then we're back to this and a little different. And we tried to steer away from the, the edgy stuff, but I did bring the BF Goodwrench. We did have it at Punisher Le Mans garage. He didn't let me touch his car with it, though.
Shop Cat. Glad you could
There's Kitty.
There another Canadian there.
Modern day bench racing. It is indeed. Out of Order Garage is here. How's it going? Yeah, I'll say this. The thing about lives are they're good, valuable. You can have different flavors of lives, social lives. Usually I have an interview live or a guest doing something different tonight because Dallas is on the road. And because I'm on the road, I thought I would do something a little bit different. But the thing is that a lot of people have gone live thinking the act of going live is what gets them subscribers. It does enhance people recognizing you, which is good, but you got to build that audience before the audience, mobilizes to help. And it takes both. You can't just do one or the other. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes making content. It takes doing lives. It takes titling your stuff right. It takes all of that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing.
And if you're not real, go ahead.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing the live is good for, Destroyer, is getting comfortable in front of a camera and being natural.
That's what I was going to say. If you are not yourself in your videos, you're going to find out real quick in your live.
What are we cooking there, Eric?
Looks like
a little bacon and some chicken thighs on the smoker, man.
All right. Man, that looks good.
Is that how you get ready for your Mopar discussion here?
I'm trying to calm down because even listening and hearing some of the stuff. Shut up, dog.
Bacon
Even listening to people in the chat and stuff, it's like there's so much more I have to cover on so many different angles. I cannot wait for this. I've been jonesing for it for a while. And I'm not that way. You guys know I love having a good time and being happy, go lucky, but they struck a nerve with me, so it's time to me to be a little more me.
I like how you're getting ready to go talk about, you know, the rise of the vegans and the tree warriors by grilling some meat. You know, it's almost like that's how you get ready for this.
That's how you do it. And if you got a smoker and you don't know, I'm trying these out. Royal Oak charcoal pellet.
That's it. That's the manliest dinner you could do, man.
Oh my gosh!
Charcoal smoked meat. You're doing it right.
Now I'm getting hungry. I might have to sign off here and go get something to eat before Destroyer fires up his discussion.
Are you grilling at the No Name Nationals? Because you're making everybody wish you were.
I'm telling you, if somebody can bring a smoker, I will cook anything you want.
I think Big Mike is bringing the smoker. There's going to be some good food going around there.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm down.
That. And I'll tell you what, you folks down south, you know how to smoke stuff, because when I went down to Arkansas for that LS, that is some of the best food I ever had. Like, it was fantastic. So
speaking of that, I'm gonna go shove this in my face real quick.
Well, hey, you know what? We're gonna make sure to get a plug for what you're talking about later. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we'll make sure everybody go out for RIP Dodge live on Destroyer 1320's channel, coming up in 20 minutes.
Yeah, just a heads up, he's pretty subdued and pretty calm, so you guys might have to bear with him a bit.
Yeah.
I got some funny stuff too. You don't want to miss it.
We all know that you got to practically poke Eric Destroyer 1320 with a coat hanger to get any personality out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been a complaint over there, right?
Yeah, I'm really.
He might get demonetized tonight. I don't know.
That's a possibility.
Right away, it may. I don't know. It may go off the rails.
It could. You never know. If you haven't seen the meme show, you don't know what you're in for. So, yeah, go over and check that out. That'll be up here in 20 minutes.
All right. Appreciate you guys. See you in a bit.
Yeah, man.
Take care, man.
Later.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show.
And it's not just Dodge either. I mean, all the companies are kind of walking the line over this way. So,
Streetcar Chronicles in the house. How's it going? If you have any 28-10-5 tire class questions, good time to ask, because Ryan from Streetcar Chronicles has helped us organize this first one since he has so much experience with them. That's been a nice thing about this event, is there's so much depth on the bench for the different things that we don't know much about, and he's helped us organize this first one. It's been a real help.
You know, you brought up a point about, sorry, I'm backing it up a bit, about Dodge isn't the first one. No, but they're the ones that have probably fallen the farthest by doing this, because GM's been on a steady decline for a long time. They've been doing off the rail stuff for quite a while, like just going, EcoBoost, everything else. They've been headed that way, but Dodge just went from to the Kool-Aid man crashing through the wall to
Dodge could have they could have been the one to take over and carry the torch of muscle and just decided to flush it all. I was so disappointed in them. You go from having a chief donut maker to this. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Talk about split personality
I mean,
here.
you know what? If I wanted to watch electric vehicles doing donuts, I would go take like a fan for a house with a really long extension cord, take the cage off of it, and throw it in the parking lot. That's about the same thing to watch.
Yeah.
I just think they
close.
missed the mark.
Well, that electric monster truck, there is a Bigfoot that's electric.
Yes.
And you know what?
Boring.
Nobody watches it. It is the most boring thing you could ever watch.
I watched a video of that. It's an electric Bigfoot. I don't know what number it is, but they have this thing in some indoor garage, right? And they're showing it running around, and you can hear everything squeak and everything crunch, but there's no engine noise. It's the most boring car crushing you've ever seen.
Yeah, Punisher's going to EV swap the Punisher. I'll believe that when I see it.
No, he is not. I got to sit in that car. He is not EV swapping that car.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he could do whatever he wants, but I would be very unhappy. That is an awesome car.
Yeah.
Look at this multitasking. He has to close caption himself for effect. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, big block.
I try to be fast.
They've been Fiat for a long time, but they still had that Dodge root to them, but it's going away for sure now.
No kidding. The true words right there. Yeah, Tony says that he'll brew moonshine before he goes electric vehicle.
And I will drink that moonshine. And I don't drink alcohol.
James is back. All right. Is this Big James running the channel? If it is, let me know, because one more time before we go out, I got to show that clip. That
Okay.
Clip cracked me up. I was watching that video. I must have replayed it 2 or 3 times. I was laughing so hard. We're not sure what we're going to do for that yet, because YouTubers are going to want to steal the show. And we want to give them an opportunity to do what they want to do. So we'll probably be pretty generous with that. We'll see.
I mean, tires or the car brakes, one of the two, right?
We're going to have a tire changer on site.
Okay, so we brought this up last night. I'm going to bring it up again. We're talking about not just changing tires, but having a tire changing competition. Just a little side bet kind of thing.
Well, if you're going to do that, why don't you do it manually? If you're going to do that, what you need to do is if you're going to do that, you should do it and do it manually.
There's going to be some unfair advantage because maybe 1 or 2 of us have done that before.
Oh, I've done it. I bet you I mount probably 60 tires a year manually with just irons and a hazard front B brake.
I've got access to the tire machine, so you will not catch me doing that anymore.
I'm pretty spoiled by a Coates tire machine, but back in the day, 20-some years ago, I had a tire truck and did it all manually.
Yeah.
Well, I'll disclose that I'm old enough to have maybe worked on a split rim and stuff, and I will not go near those anymore.
I still have all my fingers and toes, but yeah,
me too. I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones, right? I have seen, I'm an aircraft mechanic by trade, and I have seen the results of an aircraft tire letting go. You want to see a spectacular explosion, let me tell you. We had one chunk. We had a solid metal table, probably about 10 feet long, very heavy. And when that tire blew, a chunk of it hit that table and was enough impact to push a guy up against the wall, which is about 4 feet, smack him in and break his legs.
Wow.
There's that much pressure in those tires. And it's quite impressive. I've seen them go through the wings and embed in the ceiling 50 feet above them, stuff like that.
Wow.
It's there's a lot of pressure in some of those aircraft tires, man. And we're talking, that's 150 PSI. So
wow.
That's doesn't sound like a lot, but when you confine it in that space and whatnot, woof, does she let go of a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Chris
And it's a
Greenaway
lot of volume.
He's
Yeah, a lot of
asking you,
volume.
Barrows, what are you hoping to run in the Mercury?
Well, it looks like Russell at Outfits or Steven at Just Drive It.
Well, but he's probably asking you what engine would be my guess, the way he's phrased
Oh,
that.
it's just a 390.
Okay. FE power.
Yep.
You can't spell fear without FE, right?
Well, I heard it stood for something else, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that
I can
one.
imagine that. About
How
one right
fast do you
foot of
think it'll
bearings.
run? Like, I'm sure it runs pretty good on the highway, but how fast do you think it'll go in the 8th?
In the 8th?
Yeah, just ballpark.
Yeah, I'd say about 35.
Oh, Chris is asking, he says, what time do you think it'll run?
Yeah.
What time? In the 8th.
So, of course, leave it to Thumper, our resident scientist here. To say the time.
You better break out the what do you call that chart? I just slipped my mind now.
The periodic
Oh,
table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thumper, you want to
Periodic
jump in here?
Yeah, come
Thumper,
on
the
in.
sweaty fat guy. Yeah, come on in. We can talk about ethanol. I'd actually like to have you on. We'll do something on ethanol special. The ethanol special. It'd be a lot of fun. Love to do it sometime. Russell's gonna make it. Russell's about 420-ish subs. He didn't need but he's only about 80 away. So he's gonna make it. And I knew he would. I told him he would months ago. He was starting to worry, and I could tell that he was going to make it. Look out.
Hey.
Thumper, the sweaty fat guy.
What's up?
Hey, did you get your AHRA membership packet?
Sure did. You getting an
I might-
echo off me?
No, sound good, man.
Okay, cool.
I might have had something to do with your membership card.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was there when he was processing it. And Dallas is sitting there. He said, "Hey, man, look at this. I got some new membership applications." And he's reading the names. And I said, "Oh, that's Thumper, the sweaty fat guy." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." So Dallas makes him a membership card that says Thumper, the sweaty fat guy on it.
Nice.
I'm the only one in existence.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
I thought that was cool. No, I think that was cool. Hey, thanks for joining us, man.
Yep. I don't have my camera set up yet, so you got to look at Andy Dufresne and a poop pipe.
Oh, that's awesome. I was wondering what you had there. I was squinting at it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because, Red says, you're in here and that's out there and just nothing but shitty pipe dreams.
Yeah.
And then he's like crawling through a shit pipe to get
Yeah.
to his dreams. So
He-
I like the
Nice.
the juxtaposition of that.
He
the irony.
crawled through 500 yards of
Filth
foul
I can't even
smelling- Yeah,
imagine.
remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Destroyer actually did make me hungry. So I'm going to sign off now and go grab a bite to eat. It's been wonderful being on the panel. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for
Appreciate
joining
it.
us, man.
Well, it's
Man,
good
you
talking with you for the 45 seconds we were.
Yeah, it was. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Thanks for joining, Mongrels.
Yeah, you guys have a great night. We'll see you over on Destroyer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's coming up, isn't it?
Dan E. Boyd missed 108 minutes. Yes, been a fun 108 minutes. We did something a little different today. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to push to book a guest today. What I'll do is I'm going to have just pin a link, have some cool people in here. Dallas is on the road. I'm on the road. I thought, well, we'll just do it this way today. So, but we are going to shut down. Punisher says he might be back. We're going to be shutting down in 11 minutes because Destroyer 1320 is doing a show, RIP Dodge, and you can go over there and discuss all of this great stuff Dodge is doing with their electric stuff and all of that, and share your various opinions. What do you think about that, Thumper? What do you think about this EV stuff?
Well, me and Tony are kind of in alignment on a lot of the EV stuff, the fire hazard, because 3
Yep.
Teslas in 2 years have crashed up here with fatality fires.
Yeah.
Now, they won't tell us if the fire caused the crash or the crash caused the fire. They just say, a car burnt, and it turns out, it was another Tesla.
Wow.
Now, I like the Tesla, especially the Plaid. That thing is friggin' awesome. for how well it runs. I mean,
Mhm.
low 11s, high 10s out of, something that actually has decent range, but you're looking at what, $150,000 car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Throwaway
The,
car.
the most expensive car I have is the 65 GTO that I did a complete frame off restoration on. That was the rustiest piece of junk you've ever seen. It wasn't even a good parts car. It had already been parted out. Right. And I have like 15 grand in that.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think I'm going to be able to afford a $60,000 EV? No, I'm not even going to buy one. I'll just keep
Yeah.
building junk that runs on vodka.
Yeah.
Right.
Good way to
And
put it.
there's no such thing as a used one that you can just grab at a junkyard
Right.
there.
Well, there is a guy that rebuilds wrecked ones. He has a YouTube channel where he
Oh, Rich
rebuilds wrecked.
Rebuilds.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
it's kind of cool, but man, that's just like, I don't even want to get into it.
But what's he paying for them out of the junkyard, out of the,
I don't
the
know. He
used
doesn't
ones
say,
that he's grabbing? Exactly.
and because I can take a pile of tube steel and like a Buick 3800 engine and transaxle and build my version of an aerial Atom and have something that gets like 40, 50 miles of the gallon on vodka for like 5-6 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, why do I want to spend 60 grand on, an electric thing that I have to plug in with my power that's always going out?
Not
And
only that, you can't really mess with them. You're dealing with an extreme amount of DC electricity. I mean, you die.
Yeah, and then Danny Boyd makes a good point. You can just LS one. Everybody loves the LS
there
swap,
you go.
right? Just LS swap your Tesla.
They were trying to get it going in the high school in Bozeman, and they were gonna EV an old Volkswagen bus, but the school program had to shut them down because the insurance wouldn't cover them for that kind of, messing with that kind of voltage.
Yeah, that's lethal.
Yeah.
When you're working on the EVs, it doesn't matter who built them or even the hybrids.
Mhm.
Line techs have special instructions and things that they have to do to work on them even.
Yeah, our fire
any
department
of them
had to
from
go
the
through
freest
special
stuff.
classes on how to
Yeah.
cut them apart.
And because they got
Yeah.
they got an even stronger roof because, you have all that weight right underneath the passenger compartment. That's where the battery's at. So what's
Chris,
my Pontiac running?
Yeah, Chris Greenaway is asking what's your Pontiac's running there.
For ETs?
Well, he just said, what's your Pontiac running? So I answered how you want.
We're going to have to find out. I haven't made a legal pass down the strip since 2005.
So we're going to find out here on September 30th, I reckon.
Yep. And if you watch my channel, I got little shorts giving snippets of what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
I'm just hoping
I got longer
ones running by then.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of people excited to meet Thumper.
Yeah, I got to get my old race car out of the lean-to into the shop so I can take the parts off of it I need for the Le Mans, and then I need to put the Le Mans in the shop, take the engine out of that, put it in the old race car, and I'm just swapping parts around just to make it a little bit more fun and more of a challenge because I can just show up with something that I built a few years ago, but what's the fun in that?
Yeah,
I don't get any content out of that.
Oh, that's like this Mercury. They asked me what kind of time am I expecting. I don't know. I don't want to know until it hits Sikeston. I don't want to take it to the track. I don't want to test it or nothing for any of that. I'm going to test it for the drive, make sure it's going to get there.
Wow.
But I want to find out as you guys find out what it's going to make.
Well, mine, I'm going to have to do some testing because it's not going to be a daily driver. I went just a little bit stupid this year. I got a little ludicrous. So my draggy's going to get a workout, and I'm going to have some early Sunday morning before everybody starts commuting passes out on the highway in front of the house. Take my car to Canada and run it.
Thumper was one of our early participants to register and goes out there, and his whole fleet is under all this snow. And I really admire, and Barrows is in the same group, and I really admire that. I mean, it's one thing to get
He
going
got
with
snow.
springtime. Yeah,
Oh, it's only 150 to 300 inches a year. I mean, come on.
right. That's all. That's
You
all.
get more in
See-
the Rocky Mountains.
That's what I'm used to from Alaska. Is 300 to 500 inches a year. That was crazy.
Yeah, you expect it in Alaska.
That's horrible.
Yeah, but I don't live there now for a reason.
Yeah.
300 to 500 a year. My dad used to say when they purchased Alaska for 2 cents an acre, they got ripped off. They just can't. The cold is just awful.
A lot of good stuff up there, though. A lot of
What
resources.
is Mopar Dennis saying? We had a caravan of classic cars going to the Hemming Street Cruise in Vermont and stopped at a Tesla charging station. We weren't warmly received.
I'm waiting for one of them EV people to like rip into me about driving a gas guzzler, because I'm
That'd
gonna
be
like
great.
I'm gonna like fling it back in their face that it's like my car's more green than yours,
Yeah.
because I run it on cattail and tree sap vodka when I have enough.
They don't know what they're talking about.
And
Yeah.
you're recycling
That's
the
it.
vehicle. You're keeping it running versus these guys are just
Yeah, they
buying
go out
new
and buy a new one.
plastic garbage every other week.
Yeah, and I'm taking something that's old and decrepit, rebuilding it, repurposing stuff. It's like so much more green the way I do things. I mean, I live in a shipping container house.
Really?
Yeah, I
That's
built
so
it in
cool.
2019.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah, and the trees that I cleared to build the foundation for my shop, I used as the poles for the pole barn.
That is so great. That is so great.
I mean, I just don't waste stuff. That's why I've got piles of vehicles and engines and transmissions and stuff sitting around. But here shortly, I'm gonna have some videos coming out because I need to give some stuff away.
I need stuff. My yard's not full yet. I need some stuff.
You have to be within a certain mileage of Nebraska to get free cars, though.
I'm in Kansas.
Okay.
So this is the new Kansas-Nebraska Act, right?
Yeah,
There you
the new Kansas, Nebraska.
I have 3/4 of a city block that I purchased, and I need to put some cars on it.
Okay, well,
Sounds great.
I got some stuff sitting in Nebraska, a couple of Firebirds that I don't want to bring back.
I love Pontiacs.
You might be able to make one out of the two of them.
And I have one in my garage.
Right now, neither one of them has a title. And I have a little Buick Skyhawk. It's like a Monza.
Yep.
It's got the Oddfire 231 in it. It's a bit rustier than it had before, but the X threw the title away. So I don't have a title for that one.
I live for no title. I don't give a crap.
Yeah. I mean, if it's easy to get in your state, no biggie. It's kind of a pain in Nebraska.
Nope.
You can do
It's
it.
a pain in Kansas, but there's a little trick out there that I learned, and we can always get there.
Vermont?
Yep.
That's what I'm doing with Le Mans, I think.
And Kansas accepts them, so
Yeah.
that's what I've been working
If
with.
Kansas accepts them, then I got a brother that lives in Kansas City. And if Nebraska accepts it, then I got a brother that lives in Nebraska.
There you
So I
go.
can just title it to him and then switch it to me and bring it to Michigan. So, but I got to work on that.
Is it destroyer time?
It is, and that's what I was actually doing. Is I pinned the link for him. I pinned the link for him in YouTube so you guys can see it. I got the link here on the screen. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. This has been a blast. So over on Destroyer 1320's channel, the link is right there. It's pinned in YouTube. He's going to be discussing the new state and offerings by Dodge. Hope you guys have a good time over there. I'm going to join as I can. But want to thank our guests. Want to thank Barrows. Want to thank Buff. Man, Buff's already like diving over there. Good for him. Want to thank Thumper, Cletus, Layton, First Responder Garage. He was having technical troubles, but he still gave it his best to try to get in. So glad for everybody to stop by. An Unfinished Project who was actually on my screen for about a split second. I caught him this time. But I want to thank our mods, Andy, Blake, Joe, Fubar, Buzz, Ari. Want to thank them. Kept all the trolls at bay tonight. And I'm going to have Dallas back on next Friday. We're going to have more new stuff to tell you about because it's crunch time. It's 35 days away. We're going to be inside a month next time. So I'll have Dallas on next Friday. So with that, we're going to go ahead and shut down. Thank you guys. Thank everybody in the chat, and have a good evening.